Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. Today, I've got a few engine bay tips for you if you're looking to do any mods or maybe even add anything inside the engine bay on the Toyota Tacoma. These are a few things that when I first started out doing mods and things and wanted to run wires through the firewall for switches and things like that, or mount things in the engine bay, I really didn't have any idea how to do it. So I thought I'd make it a little easier, maybe for somebody out there who's looking to do these kind of things and not have to search all over the place to find out how. So we're gonna start off, first of all, running wires through the engine bay. You know, that always seems to be pretty confusing. How do you get through here? Probably the most popular way is right down here where you see these red wires. That's going through the big boot where the wiring and stuff goes through inside to the truck or to the inside of the truck. You have to make sure you stay to the left or the right of the bundle that's in there, and you have to pop a hole through that grommet. Pop a hole through the rubber with something sharp, and that's always a bit daunting because you're always afraid, or at least I was, that you're going to nick or get into wiring or something under there, and of course you can't see what's on the other side when you're doing that. That is how I wired this switch here so I could get to the control panel inside, but there's another way to do it. If you look right there, that green hole you see, there's a grommet in there. You can pop that grommet and run wiring through there as well. Now, just beware, on the other side, you're gonna have that kind of cloth, carpety kind of stuff, insulation that you have to pop through. Not a big deal. You use something that's relatively sharp, of course, and then you have easy access to the inside of the cab. And actually, when I ran this switch, I forgot about that and went ahead and went through the bigger grommet. I would have gone through there had I actually remembered to do it. Next up, awesome sound, but it also gives you more room inside the cab or the engine bay area. And I'm talking about the cold air intake you can see, or actually it's not a cold air intake, it's open, so it's just an air intake. This one comes from Rough Country. It is, I believe, just a rebranded K&N, but the good thing about it is it gives you a lot more space over here. I mean, look at how much room has opened up by getting rid of the bigger OEM cold air intake. Now you can mount things in there like maybe the tray that I have over here, which is a little bit tight, over in that area, or even an air compressor. I've seen some people mount air compressors under the hood, and I've never been able to figure out how they did it because they had gone with a different intake, obviously, and freed up some space. There's no way you can fit one under there with a normal OEM cold air intake. But this allows you much more room to put stuff under there if you want. Now, as far as mounting points, you've got a few underneath the hood. Over here where I put my switch, you can see where that bracket is on the other side of the switch right here. There are two threaded holes. That allows you to go ahead and mount a bracket or a tray, if you will, and then put something on top of it. I kind of fashioned my own, drilled some holes through an existing bracket I had actually, and mounted it in there. It worked really, really well. Now, over on the other side, you can see you have the same thing. If you look close, I'll try to zoom in for you. Right there, you can see these two areas here, these two threaded holes. You can mount something right there. Now, if you want to know the screw size, just check out my video from when I installed the switch over here. It's in that video. I don't recall it. I'll put it down below if I can remember to do that when I'm uploading the video. In addition to those holes that you see there, and we'll probably have to turn the camera around a little bit, you do have some holes down here. Now, I don't believe, well, some of them are threaded. You have a threaded hole here and a threaded hole here. And then on this side, you just have some open holes. So you'd have to put something underneath. You can actually almost tightly get underneath here to put a nut on the other side. So you could mount something there utilizing those holes. You have a hole here. There you have a threaded stud sticking up. So you could screw on to here right over here and right there if you wanted to. So if you were looking to put some kind of a tray or something there so that you could install maybe an air compressor or something, you could easily do that. And again, you have plenty of space over here now to put it under the hood. That's the best place to do it, in my opinion. I've seen people mount them in other areas. For folks that are fortunate enough to still have the cubby holes in the back, if you have a late model Tacoma, you could put it in the cubby hole in the back, but we don't have that anymore in the late third generation. Next up, I have to mention, since we're under the hood struts. You know, when you're under here working, like adding that air compressor over there, or adding the switch over here, or just doing normal maintenance stuff, like checking the fluids, maybe adding some windshield wiper fluid, it's very nice to have these hood struts. It makes the very heavy Tacoma hood much easier to mess with. You just unhook it and then give it a quick push and it lifts up and it stays. Love that. It also removes or gets rid of this stupid rod, which I don't know about you, but every time I use this thing, I was always running into it. It was always in the way, even though it's on this side of the truck. I don't know why that is. As far as the hood struts go, and I'm not pushing these, but they are the best, the red lines, the drill type. You do have to drill a couple of holes here so that you can rivet them in, and then down here so that you can put a rivet in for their brackets as well. I'm not a big fan of that, and you have to be very careful when you're drilling up through here. Make sure you put some sort of a stop guard or something on your drill bit so that you don't drill right on through the top of the hood. And I actually have seen people do that. There's a guy, I don't remember who it is, that has a video on YouTube of actually drilling right up through his hood. That would be a nightmare. You want to make sure that you don't do that. Go slow and put a guard on your drill bit so that you don't. Now, as I mentioned, these are the best. There are other versions out there. There is a type that is a no drill. The brackets kind of bolt into the hinge area up there, and then they connect up in this area, I think right here to the battery terminal. I've tried those. They always skewed my hood. I didn't like them. The last time I did it, the brackets actually did not sit flush. They kind of stuck out right above the hinge here, and they moved. They kind of flexed as you would open the hood. I didn't like that because it put a lot more stress, I think, on the hood itself, particularly in the hinge areas, and you never want something that's going to move around. You want it tight, like these brackets that are riveted on the Redline tuning hood struts. Anyway, I just wanted to get on, let you guys know a few ways to get through the engine bay, a few tips, things that I kind of wish I had known when I first started. Would have made the jobs much easier and much quicker. Leave a comment. If I'm missing anything else under the hood that makes life easier for adding mods and things, leave a comment. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.